Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai. Ya na 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 dai 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 dai. Ya na 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 dai 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 dai. Ya na 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 dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai. Yai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai. Ya na 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 dai 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 dai. Ya na 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 dai 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 dai. Ya na 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 dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our, hearty few. We were saying when the holidays come just a few days after the Shabbat service, many people say, well, we're coming Sunday, we're coming Monday, we're coming Monday night. You're the respectable ones that say we're coming, and whoever else is watching us as well. I saw next year Rosh Hashanah is on Friday night, so that'll be interesting. See how we blend it. Do we have someone who would like to light candles for us tonight? Anyone like to light?
Lila, you can come. Who else wants? Who's gonna come light with Lila? She might need help with the matches. All right, perfect. No, come. You come to come. All of you.
Not only isn't there heat, but there's nothing left downstairs, so we're gonna have to deal with this for a while. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
May the Shabbat candles that we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, look honestly and with kindness, and to see what's holy in each other. Thank you. Hine ma tov, on the bottom of page 4, how good and pleasant it is for all of us to be together as we join with the cantor.
Hine ma tov u'manayim Shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim Shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov Shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov Shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim Shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim Shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim Shavet achim gam yachad. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
At the bottom of page 8, we'll continue responsively with our family prayer. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. In this satisfaction of celebrating Shabbat, hearten our spirits. Let Shabbat peace bring quiet to our souls. Allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. Place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled with our traditions. May the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions. Let us look ahead toward the new week, be worthy of all of God's blessings. The top of page 8 is we welcome Shalom Aleichem, we welcome the angels of peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And upon arriving in Jerusalem, the pilgrims lifted their eyes to the mountains. They cried out, "From where does my help come?" The top of page 12, we joined with the cantor, Esa Einai.
Esa Einai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esa Einai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim ba'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim ba'aretz. Esa Einai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esa Einai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim ba'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim ba'aretz.
And as we now travel back to the 16th century to the town of Tzfat, we join together, page 16, as we welcome the Sabbath bride, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pnei pnei Shabbat nikavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. לשם תפארת ולתחילה, לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשי במחשבה תחילה, לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעת מהבכה, והוא יחמול עלייכם, לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
The bottom of page 18, we rise, face the rear of the sanctuary to greet the Sabbath bride.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. Page 21 at the top of the page, we have Psalm 92, known as the first psalm which was sung in the temple in Jerusalem on Shabbat. We'll continue responsively in English. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness and your faithfulness each night. Music of the lute and harp, the melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight. So we continue the bottom of page 20.
Tzaddik tamar yifrach, ke'erez bavanon yizkeh, shetulim beveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenuvun beseva, deshenim vera'ananim yehiu lehagid, ki ashar Adonai tzuri lelav latavo.
As we sing some of these songs, we're so focused towards some of the high holiday tunes. I know you are, because that's all we've been practicing for the last several weeks and getting ourselves prepared. And that's really what the month of Elul is also about, that you have this entire month that builds up to having these prayers that we're going to be reciting on Sunday night and Monday. But on page 23, we go back to 1921, to the Boston Globe, the wonderful reading just for today. We have the Cass family with us. We're glad to welcome you back from Florida. You wouldn't sit with a jacket on in Florida, but you can see. But you're here where it's cold if you'd lead us responsively.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once.
Just for today, I'll be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what it is, or to what is, and not to try adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I'll be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best, praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I'll forgive it and forget it. I'll try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I'll get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I'll find a little time for quiet, to relax, to realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
So about a decade ago,
Thank you.
I was here visiting Vail with my family for the summer, and we were at the library at story time at the Vail Library, and I had my daughter Ziva with me, and we were going around the room, and we were saying the names of our children, and I said, yeah, come on up. And I said, my daughter's name is Ziva, and someone said, Ziva? My daughter has a Ziva in her preschool class. And here is that Ziva, almost a decade later, ready for her bat mitzvah in about 2 weeks. And she is going to be leading us in the Baruch, so please rise.
Page 24.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed.
Thank you. You may be seated. The bottom of page 28, let's continue responsively with God's wondrous creations. As we join together in this Shabbat Eve, we take in the greatness of God's creations. As the snow melts from the mountain peaks on high, let our worries of the week flow away. And as the mountains springs give forth fresh water, let our souls feel refreshed. Creeks join streams and become the great rivers. Let our faith and love grow stronger. And as we stand in awe of the great beauty of the Rocky Mountains, let our faith in God increase and renew. And let this Shabbat be a time of peace. The top of page 28.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot צדיקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת, אותנו למדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה נגע יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל.
Some other young volunteers I see way back there.
Yes, Gabriel and Andreas and Lila and Maya are going to come and lead us in the Shema. Come here, Andreas.
Just a second. There we go. Okay, get close together.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Mahutov Le'olam Va'ed.
Thank you.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On this Shabbat evening, we seek peace and comfort. Shield us from hatred and destruction that plagues so many corners of our world, and console those in need. The top of page 34, we join together. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Nehamidenu malkeinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Nehamidenu malkeinu lechaim Ushmor Seiteinu Uvoeinu Lechaim Ushalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu malkeinu lechaim.
And as we read in the book of Exodus, in 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth. The seventh day he ceased from his work and rested. Page 36 as we join together V'shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש שבת שבת ויהי נפש שבת שבת ויהי נפש.
Well, there are those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. If you have a loved one who's in need of healing, please, in a moment, please feel free to share their name aloud as we move about the sanctuary. We continue at the top of page 38, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
And our thoughts go out to Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Linda Colin, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Carol Ann Finn, Jane Friedman, Steve Friedman and Deborah Goldman, Cliff Goldman, Jeff Goldsmith, Dylan Hansen, Mike Herman, Ken Imler, Donald Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Skip Clowens, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Renee Levine, Rabbi Sue Levy, Charlie Levy, and Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz, Bernie Shavitz, Ann Sheldon, Bill Silvers, and Dina Stempler, Maury Strauss, Susie Talley, Alan Tenenbaum, Tevi Wellens, Goldie Wetcher, and Mickey Winokur. Okay.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
turn to page 40 now and rise for the Reader's Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
בעלמא דברה קירתה וימליך מלכותה.
בחייכון ויומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב.
ואמרו
אמן. יש מרבה מברך. לעלם ולעמי הומיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה
ברכו.
לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה.
תשבחתה ונחמתה תמירן ביעלמה.
ואמרו
Amen. Be not afraid of silence. It's more powerful than the unpolished word. It allows God's voice to be heard and tears and doubt to tumble out. Page 42 as we continue at the top of the page. And then silently through page 57.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi ki tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi ki tehilatecha.
may be seated when you've completed the Amida. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto you, O God. Middle of page 56 as the cantor continues.
Yehiyu leratson imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Bekoali leratson imrefi behegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Bekoali
as we're continuing to read through the book of Deuteronomy and coming to the end of the Torah before we have Simchat Torah and then start all over again. There was one particular section that I thought was so special that I'm going to talk about with Moses' speech that he gave to the Israelites. First, to introduce that, let me explain what in the 18th century there was a philosopher named Immanuel Kant. And he said that two things forever hold me in awe: the starry heaven above me and the moral law below me. Well, there was a rabbi in the Talmud, and he was asked, "Where is God?" And the rabbi answered, "Where there is life in the body." Our entire body, our heart, mind, hands, and feet, every part of us is full of life. So the rabbi continued, he says, what is life to the body is what God is to the world. We don't see God, but we live by God's presence. So if you think back to your Sunday school days, you remember when we were told, oh, God is everywhere. And I don't know if we totally understood what that meant. But there was a French astronomer who once said with skepticism that I have swept the universe with my telescope and I find no God. Well, J.W. Hawley responded to him and he says, that's about as unreasonable as me to say that I've taken my violin apart, I've examined every single piece of it with a microscope, and I find no music. So why did Moses say in his last great speech to the Israelites, that's what we're reading in Deuteronomy now, he says, you are standing this day before the Lord your God. Well, the rabbis, all the commentators pounced on that. And they said, well, weren't they standing there yesterday and the day before? Weren't they standing before God all those times we've been wandering through the desert, even in their tent? And of course they were. But what Moses meant to say, and what he really meant was, you now realize that you are in the presence of God. First, there was the idea that God was everywhere. And now, as we have seen through his presence, Moses said, there's the reality of God's presence. So try and picture this. This is what they're describing in our portion this week, that there's this vast gathering of people. Hundreds of thousands of Israelites. We're told over 600,000 Israelites gather, plus their animals, plus all their slaves and everyone else they brought with them. Moses says to them, look around you. He wanted them to see this enormous assembly. And Moses knew that it was a grand gathering and it's always inspiring. And we know that when there's a huge crowd, whether it's a sporting event or a political event, or even when we have our service on the mountain, it's exciting. It's exciting, and how much more so when we're gathered together in the covenant of God or with prayer. So the psalmist wrote, from those assembled arise the praises of God. Now this was an unusual assembly, though 600,000 people were gathered, because all the children were there too. Moses speaks of the future, and he speaks of the future of generations that were yet to come. And we've heard this so many times in commentaries. They said, that means that actually you and me were present and stood at Sinai when Moses gave these speeches. So to the adults, Moses turns and he says, look around you at the assembly. But to the children, Moses says, look ahead of you to the future. The thought of the future was the inspiration for the young that were gathered there. Well, at the high holiday services this weekend, the services fulfill those requirements that are implied by Moses 4,000 years ago. When all are gathered and all the Israelites were standing at the bank of the Jordan River, our high holiday services are going to be that ancient gathering that he looked into in the future. And he said there's going to be that vast assemblage of Jews looking at the future. And it's our machzor, it's our prayer book that says, may God, who is the light of the world, bring life and light into our hearts in the coming week. Amen. Well, it doesn't take much to announce what's coming up. But we do have...
We have so many board members here tonight.
It's wonderful to see. And we're going to have announcements. But we do have our services on Sunday night. And at the Vail, what could be better? It's going to be a beautiful time. And Monday morning. And then Monday, we have the lunch for those who are able to find a reservation. And Tashlach, where we had to think, you just go around and you say, what would we serve that has honey? But it's not going to be sticky and messy for everybody. So the apples and honey you can have at home because we can't set up tables at the covered bridge in Beaver Creek. So I thought, bit of honey. I kind of grew up with that. So we're going to have little candies, a bit of honey. We have little apple and cinnamon bars that you can eat, honey wine, and honey cookies of some kind. So it should be a wonderful time. We're looking forward to it. And your musical group is all ready.
Yeah, we have our amazing musicians. We'll have violin, cello, and piano. And this year, for the first time, they'll be joining us on Erev Rosh Hashanah as well. So that will be our first time having our full little mini orchestra for Erev Rosh Hashanah. And we have a children's service in Edwards at 3:30 on Monday. If you'd like to join us for that as well.
And then next year you'll have with the musical instrument of 10 strings and the lute and a lyre. Just like we say every time, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's introduce the president of our congregation, Stephen Wellens, has more welcome and introductions.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everybody. The rabbi sort of stole my thunder. I wanted to announce that we were going to have high holiday services this weekend. I'm sure none of us had plans. We have really worked very, very hard. Not so much me, but the cantor and the rabbi and Janet and Jeannie and Seth and the musicians. And we have put together an amazing program of services this weekend. And we ask you all to please come share the experience with us at the Vail Center. It's a beautiful setting, and it's going to be wonderful. First come, first serve, so please try to get there early. There's no reserving seats, and we don't have reserved sections, but I think we'll have plenty of space for everybody. Hopefully next year we'll be outdoors again at the Ford Amphitheater if they get the construction done, but this year will be special listening to the music in that wonderful facility. So we have a whole package here. Please take a look. It's got a detailed schedule of the times of all the services, when to be there, where to be there. But I only point you to the back. This doesn't happen by chance. This happens because we have so many wonderful, generous congregants that help support this congregation, and we're going to need 2 pages. It allows us to do the things for those in our community that can't maybe afford to be here. We can offer them total access. So thank all of you, and I look forward to seeing all of you this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to Janet for putting that together because it went from an 11-point font to a 9-point. So as we continue to get more generous people, I think 8's going to be our limit as we keep shrinking it down to fit everybody on there.
And as Rabbi was mentioning earlier, we're in the final stretch of the month of Elul. We have in the back of the room, donated to us by Pico Union Project, which is run by Craig Taubman, this book, Jewels of Elul. And while we're nearing the end, you can cram it all into a weekend. There's one jewel, one like special writing or thought from a great Jewish thinker or writer for every day of Elul. And you are welcome to take one of these to get yourself prepared for high holidays. And I'd also like to invite anyone to join me in Denver for B'nai B'rith Colorado's 150th anniversary celebration. We're having an anniversary event, and I sit on the board for B'nai B'rith Colorado, and that's the organization that they do all kinds of community service, including the Leadville cleanup. B'nai B'rith Colorado is responsible for that, so I welcome you to join me there. You can find information in the newsletter.
And to look ahead, because when we send out our newsletter, it has already what's coming up next summer. So we have the mountaintop services already put down, and pretty soon we'll have to have like a speakers bureau because they just keep calling about these amazing speakers that are going to be coming next summer that are already booked, and we just have dates for those. So if you're not on the mailing list, please get on the list, and we'd love to be able to see you at many things. We're going to return to our prayer books on page 60 as we rise and join together. Aleinu.
And Joanne is going to help us lead Aleinu.
Oh, wait, let me get the microphone for this.
Surprise.
Here you go.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל,
לתת גדולה לעושה ראשית,
שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Thank you. Surprises are always nice.
Yes.
At this moment, in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together, but strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Stephen Adocchio, Max Beldick, Harold Berger, Donald Berger, Pinya Bubro, Jules Bronstein, Ralph Cerny, Helen Cohn, Martin Colton, Harold Daskin, Michael Deutschman, Israel Azursky, Ida Finkelstein, Beatrice Fox, Herbert Friedman, Rosalind Friedman, Alan Frummer, Max Gelfand, Harry Gerson, Frida Goldberg, Florence Goldstein, Bessie Goldstein, Stella Gordon, Jacob Green, Roma Green, Louis Halpert, Mary Ellen Hape, Harris Herman, Greg Honzo, David Jadwin, Linda Kahn, Saromi Kalishkin, Lily Kaplan, Arthur Kleinstein, Kitty Kopovlichik, Grace Cooper-Smith, Mildred Kern-Bloom, Sidney Ladd, Dr. Stanley Allen Leonard, Paula Lessing, Leonard Levenstein, Emil Levitch, Frankie Levitch, Marvin Lichter, Stanley Miller, Bernard Minko, George Molina, Louis Neperant, Eugene Parr, Bernard Pocker, Leonard Pokros, Milton Podrat, Nancy Polishuk, Aileen Putterman, Frida Ratner-Myers, Nathan Reichman, Leo Rosen, Roland Ross, Melvin D. Sachs, Erwin Schwabe, Lenore Shapiro, Marilyn Shevelson, Fern Scheer, Martin Spector, Milton Spiro, Thomas Stuffel Jr., Richard Swig, Edith Swirsky, Joseph Towle, Joseph Weinstein, Lorraine Weinzimmer, Mildred Weiss, Max Wellens, Gabriel Wolf, Francis Zaleski, Izzy Zalkin, Gail Gerber, Ruth Kushner, and Toby Weinstock our sincerest condolences. If anyone else is observing Yahrzeit this month. The mourners, thank you. Mourners Kaddish can be found in our prayer books on page 64, and those who wish may join with us as we say, Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'Alma Divrach Hirutei v'Yamlich Malchutei, v'Chayechon v'Yomechon v'Chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav Izman Karev V'Ramein. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Leolam Omeomaya, Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitpa'ar v'Yitramam v'Yitnaseh, Yitadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shemei D'Kudisha B'Richu. Le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imramein. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom v'imramav, huya seh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. May be seated. Well, we used to have all kinds of treats before services, but the entire downstairs is gutted as it's being redone, and I don't even think they found a plate or a challah knife to put anything in the back after services, but we'll get better at this. For Adon Olam,
What should we do for Adon Olam tonight? Any suggestions? A good Rosh Hashanah theme.
Okay.
I should have at least 91 songs swirling through my head right now. But what was that? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Page
that's good.
66.
That's not one that we're doing, so it's an exclusive for tonight.
Page 66.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעד נשא וחסד כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיך לו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית בלא העוז והמצרה והוא אלי וחי גולי בצור חבלי בעת צרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי ואיתי שן ועיירה ואם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לי ולא יראה תפוחים ודבש לראש השנה תפוחים ודבש לראש השנה שנה טובה ומתוקה תפוחים ודבש לראש השנה Apples and honey for Rosh Hashanah. Apples and honey for Rosh Hashanah. A good new year, a sweet new year. Tapuchim udvash leRosh Hashanah.
And why are we leaving this out?
I don't know. We need to put this in the Rosh Hashanah service.
Please
It's a
rise
great
for a
song.
closing blessing. Adonai Ozli Amo Yatein Adonai Varechet Amo V'Shalom. May the Lord grant strength unto his people and bless all peoples with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Borei
borei
pori
pori hagafen l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova.
Bim bam bim 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 bam bim 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 bam bim bam bim 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 bam bim 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 bam Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat 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 Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat 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 Shalom
Your birthday is not